Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined today by Julien and Laurens, Craig Burley, and a little later on, Ian Dart. We start with the big news coming out of Holland today. Just a reminder, this is how things looked before play was suspended. Ajax level on points with AZ Alkmaar at the top of the table. Ajax, though, ahead as its goal difference that is the differential when level on points, and that is significant because today the top clubs voted. All the clubs in the first and second tiers came to this conclusion. There will be no championship awarded. That's for the first time since 1945. However, because Ajax are ahead on goal difference, they will go straight into the Champions League group stage. Meanwhile, AZ will join the competition in the second qualifying round. Also, really significant news, no promotion and no relegation this season. Julien and Laurens with us. Jules, I imagine some Liverpool fans are starting to sweat.
Yeah, maybe, although there's a long way before we might see this in England, but it's true that this could be a pathway for other leagues, including the Premier League, if at some point either the health minister of their country or the government decide that there could not be any football between now and, let's say, September, like is the case in the Netherlands, then they will have to take the decision to void the season. You can then allow a champions and relegation and promotion, and Javier Tebas in Spain has already said, oh, if that happens to us, we will have promotion and relegation. However, this was put into a vote, as you said, and because there was no majority, the KNVB, the Dutch FA, decided to go for that. Listen, there's no winner. Whatever ways, people would have been happy and unhappy. And maybe this one is the less unhappy of all, the less unfair of all. Although I said Alkmaar clearly could say that they had the momentum going into the later stages of the season. They've just beaten Ajax 2-0 in Amsterdam as well, and they could have gone and win their first title since 2009. Same in the relegation, same for the teams in the second division who said we were clear at the top and we deserve to go up. So you could expect a lot of clubs suing the federation, but that's the way they decided to go for. And I think you have to respect that as well. Again, there was no right or wrong decision or way to go, but that's the way they decided to go.
Meanwhile, of course, plenty of transfer talk, plenty over the last few days regarding the future of Aubameyang, heavily linked to Chelsea over the last 24 hours. Jules, what can you tell us about this?
It's an interesting one, a story that we've run on the website, James Ollie, our colleague, saying that Moussa Dembélé, the Lyon striker, has been a target for Chelsea for a long time now. We saw Dries Mertens heavily linked with them, and talks were ongoing in January as well to bring the Belgian international to Stamford Bridge. That didn't happen either. And now they may be looking at other options. Aubameyang being out of contract in June 2021 is certainly an option that they should look at. He's 30, so he's older than Dembélé, younger than Mertens, but would cost less than Dembélé for sure, although more in wages. So it's something that you have to ponder, you have to look at, and there might be an opportunity there for Chelsea to snap him.
And let's bring Craig Burley into the conversation. Craig, would you go for this if you were Chelsea?
Absolutely. I mean, I would go for it if I was Chelsea. It's whether the player wants to make that move, if indeed that's on the table from. Look, the decision he's got to make is what do I have in terms of options? Chelsea are a project at the moment. Now, if he believes they're a project far enough down the line that they are going to compete when everything gets up and running again, then fine. But as Jules mentioned, at his age, he's really going to be looking to go into somewhere where they're going to be fighting for the title now. They're going to be fighting for the Champions League now. That's where he is in his career. He's good enough to be doing that. He's shown that at Dortmund. He's shown that at Arsenal and an inferior team. So he needs to make sure he's making the right decision. And I believe if he gets an offer from clubs that are further down the line than Chelsea in terms of the progress, I think he'll take that. But if Chelsea can get him, I think they should go for him. And that if Arsenal lose him, that's just another big body blow to Mikel Arteta.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.